told you I was going to be on here. All right. So I'm just cleaning up a little bit, sweeping up the area, and I know it looks terrible. It's still going to look terrible after I finish sweeping it up, but the cleaning is not about that. The cleaning right now is about learning the area, right? Learning the stuff. Every time you sweep, every time you clean up, you find out if you've got any divots on the floor, you keep the material from chipping the floor. All of these kinds of things sort of keep you tuned a little bit with the space you're in. So if you clean it often, I guarantee you'll know more about the space, and that'll be of some benefit. Especially in a remodel, because you didn't build it, right? So you don't know the particulars until you experience the particulars. It's better to experience them with a broom than with a trip to Home Depot. So there are some great advantages and benefits to the waterproof boards that you can get. They are not as absolutely, positively necessary as the tile guys would have you think. People tend to learn a way, a trade, a thing that they can have confidence in because they know that thing well enough to have confidence in it. But generally speaking, most people know more than two systems. And it really shouldn't even be about the system. It should be about understanding how water works and how the functionality of it is. And if you have a healthy understanding of that, then it really doesn't matter what the system itself is, as long as, you know, the tolerances of the products definitely matter. But what people are generally chasing when they're doing that is a warranty, right? And a manufacturer warranty at that. What's smart is not to chase the manufacturer warranty. The contractor, the installer, is whose warranty you want. Because for waterproofing, if it fails, you have to literally tear the whole shower out to see where it failed. And if it turns out it's plumbing and not your waterproofing, then that manufacturer has made you tear it out and they're not going to put it back. And oops, right? And as far as these fittings go, people are going crazy about those sharp bites. And they're like, oh, I wouldn't put it on permanent. Listen, they're as permanent as anything else. Some people are going, oh, they haven't been around long enough to know. I've been putting them on for close to 20 years. I've been putting them on for close to 20 years. I know active plumbers that swear by them. The reason that a plumber wouldn't use a shark bite is because they're expensive. The reason a homeowner would use a shark bite is because the equipment and the tooling and the understanding that you have to have as a plumber to put anything else on is expensive. And you can either hire a plumber or learn plumbing. Shark bite's a little bit in the middle. You still have to do it dead right or it's going to leak like anything else. Problem is, you don't need a bunch of fancy tools for it, and that drives people who do it for a living crazy because they invested a lot of money and effort into those tools and learning those particulars. Anyway, we're gonna get to the shower walls. I got the foam board. I don't care what foam board you use, as long as it is for this. The brand doesn't matter. What's wild is the manufacturer, if you don't install this thing dead nuts to the manufacturer specs, they're going to void that warranty anyway. What you need to do is understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. This waterproofing board is to hold moisture in, and it's also going to help keep water from getting behind the wall. But drywall would do that with mortar or with thin set over it, with tile over it, with sealant over it. It will do that. Now, it's what that technically is multi-layers of water resistance, right? And the odds of the water getting through the sealed grout and then getting behind the tile and then getting behind the thin set and then getting behind that to get the drywall behind that wet enough to saturate enough to rot out stuff behind there, very slim. That changes dramatically on a floor. On a floor, that is absolutely not true. Water will find its way because it'll settle in the pool and it will find a way on the floor. So that has to be a waterproof circumstance. So that means you could build a swimming pool on top of it and it shouldn't leak. This right here, I'm gonna go ahead and send through my wall because it's an 8-foot sheet, and I got 7 feet walls lengthwise. So I'm gonna lay this down if I can. I've got the room to. I may not. I may have to move it out of the room altogether. Old school would have called that jumping the gun. He said, "Hey, you jumped the gun, young man." Now, fortunately for me, I did not put the header in for the door yet, so I can walk this tall material right back out of the room. I didn't say easily, but I can get it out. And I'm going to take a little time, do a couple of things far enough out of my way that I don't have to curse a whole lot. Because I do want to. Get out of here. Man, if that wasn't an enormous pain, oh my God. Enormous. Okay. So we may as well go ahead and cut this down. Let's get our tape measure. We got one somewhere. We want end to end along this wall, and I'm going to catch it right at the end of that 2-bar. That's going to give me 78 3/4. Yeah, I'm over here, man. So it's giving me 78 3/4 inches. That's cool. I'm gonna go right there. Boom, boom. Now this stuff already has a grid on it, which is very freaking brilliant as far as the manufacturing goes. Because that line is pretty straight across there. It's not dead on. It definitely is not dead on. But it's super close. It's close enough that if you get, within a ½ inch on this kind of board, you can live. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do 78 again, and I think we said what, 3/4? And I am, where am I at? Dropping stuff. I am gonna cut it. I am gonna slice it. But all I need for cutting that is a razor knife. That is another thing it shares in similarity to a, whatchamacallit. I got my 7-foot level in here. My 4-foot is on the other side of the house. Let's see if I can do it with this. On that other side. And don't mistake this kind of measuring and this kind of work for the same level of detail you'd see if I were doing some fine carpentry. This is not fine carpentry. It's pretty close, but it ain't fine carpentry. All right, stop it. Sit right there. So I'm gonna run across there with a knife, flip that, cut that, slap it on the wall. Let me get a knife, dog. This kind of situation, generally want a razor knife, but you can also get by with one of these. It is foam board after all, and these are cheap. I'll show you how to do it that way. Now I'm going downhill. Right here, it looks like I missed my mark. I'm gonna drop down just a little. That's how easy it is to cut that. That's how light it is. It's foam. It's got like a little layer of sort of maybe a cement on it, but a fairly thin layer. All right, we're gonna pop in over here. I apologize, the studio is not gorgeous because this is just what we got to do while we got to do this. Let me see if I can get you back a little further. You can see a little bit better. It's gonna take some maneuvering, so deal with it. Deal with it. Yeah. That's good. That's good enough. So, we lay that down now that we're at a manageable size. And boom. Essentially, right? We fit right there. Now, what we want is for this cutout to be there as well. We need to set our piece on top, yada yada. I think we cut it off right here. And because these boards are what they are, you can flip them. They're the same on both sides. So this will be a quick way that we can satisfy our fixture. Ugh, get out of there, you. All right, so roughly about right there. About right there. Let's just drag that straight down, more or less. And then, we got to be outside of that. Let's go a little bit wider. We got a plate that's going to cover it for the most part. Now we just need the height. About right there. So we're gonna grab our same little knife we had a minute ago. Bam. I'll let you close, just in case you can't see. I'm gonna cut that right out. All right. Let's see if the trick worked. Let me put you over here. The thing this board is light. That's what's so great about it. I mean, keep talking about it because that really is the benefit of this stuff. Yeah. Could go here, and then that should go there. I think I'm inadvertently freaking sponsor this company. Oops. Uh-oh. Getting hung up on some wire on the other side. Let me adjust. All right. All right. All right. Oh my God. We're short. We're short by like nothing. Stuff is so light. Look, it's easy to work with, yo. Get that. Get that back in. Back up. And set it there. Nothing else on the market. You're gonna hang on the freaking fixture and not worry. Now, I got these. They don't have to be no particular brand. They do have to be stainless. These little washers or screws. Be right back. Grab a couple of washers, a couple of these screws. I got these big fat areas where we got material. And then all we gotta do, open to the top, should be my 7 feet. I'm just sticking that in there. It's got prongs on it. Then push my screw in because it's so soft. Then screw it in. That's it. That's it. And one screw will hold that no problem. I'm gonna put another one in, and only two, because if my height ain't dead perfect, one thing I am gonna have to do is expect to trim, because I'm 1 inch off the ground here because of my shower pan, right? So that means that ain't gonna be 48 inches. It's gonna be closer to 47. So that's gonna leave me a cut along the way. Our width should stay the same. No problem. We'll go ahead and cut that piece out there. And what I'll do, because our width is going to stay the same, I'm going to use the cutoff from the previous piece to cut this piece. I know, it's blowing your mind. It's blowing your mind. All right, hold tight. Yep. You can see me. All right. Just gonna lay it right there on top. Line that edge up. Hold it in place. Score it. That's it. Done with that. Follow my score. All right, now I'm over here now, dude. All right. So as you see, like I said, I'm an inch away from absolute perfection. But we can still achieve our perfection. Wait right there. Kerplyow. We cut our board right here. And we're gonna need a line right across here. Oops. You say? Do you say? And this way, stay nice and flush on the floor. Seam as tight as possible, but all we need to do is put a strip of fabric over that and it's good to go. In truth, on a large format tile with thin set, nothing will ever get through it anyway. Don't take that as a blanket statement. That's all right. So now we got both of our boards and some stuff to trim out. All right. Get that over there. Get this over here. Let's open this up. No. So we're gonna open that up. Start putting these bad boys on. So we're gonna find where all of our studs are. Boom. All right. We already know in here in our corner. All right. Boom. We try to avoid the areas where we've got pipes, of course, but we also intentionally use stuff that is so short that it's not likely to go through this board and the 2x and make it to any water lines. But these, now I'm just using them to mark where my studs are because the board is going to cover that, obviously. And once I have done that, then you can go ahead and just start popping them in and pushing through. I'm not sure how much the manufacturer recommends, how many of these, how often, how far apart. So don't take this as if you're trying to hold some kind of warranty. Because I say put as many in as you can. Really, as many in as the manufacturer recommends. That's the easy answer. That's a true answer. Now, what I do sometimes is I turn back the clutch on my drill, right? So that the resistance will take over. It's like having see what I mean? That little bit of pressure means it's not going to push any further than it takes to sink that nail. It's not going to countersink it too deeply because it's just going to take the power away. So that's what you want. These little washers are designed to turn a little bit when they go in, and they grab too. They grab the material, they don't grab the obviously, the wood. But they will also stick together. Gotta be careful of that. I just keep popping them in. And that way, kind of got my gauge set. Now, I've already ran water to everything, so I know I have no leaks. That's an important stage to make sure you're at before you start closing the wall itself up. You have to run water from both fixtures, both sides. Mine worked out fine. So now, nice and close. Let me take these gloves off for a second. I think I can hold these screws a little better without them. And then we're just gonna lock in. Give me a quick second. I'm gonna check the chat and say my peoples, because I know y'all be falling through. And I gotta say what's up to you when you come see my chat. What's up, Fetty? How you doing this morning? Well, this afternoon. What's up, Tim Reed? My buddy. And oh man, these eyes. Ian? Telling you, I ordered reading glasses yesterday. It's just so bad squinting at the squint. I almost said squinting at the screen. Squinting at the screen. Squinting at the screen. If I'm doing anything, I'm squinting at the screen. All right. Just keep slapping these joints in. I'm making all the tile guys mad today. Making all the tile guys mad today. Lots of these little washers in place to help the drywall. Now this is a Go board, I think, that I'm using. There's a couple different brands of this stuff. Honestly, I'm probably a little bit more familiar with the Curdy, but this stuff was half. And Curdy's, you know, where I was getting it, it was $113 a board. And because I understand that I don't absolutely need to have it, I can't pay that. But the convenience of this being lightweight in this space, something I really wanted, so I could navigate through there a little less clumsily, particularly if I'm filming it. The drywall's heavy. Foam is light. The bolts basically installed the same, but I won't have to do any additional work after I hit my base with my waterproofing and come up on the board and then cover my joints. You can cover these screws if you like. If you're trying to get a manufacturer warranty, that's what you gotta do. All right, here is sort of dealer's choice. Bobby Brown says it's my prerogative and I agree with him. Plus I know what I'm doing. I know I'm not going to leak because I know how to keep it from leaking with these various processes. I've been doing this longer than some of these companies have existed. So, another worry. Another worry. We're just going to put plenty of these on there. I'm going to have to cover this drain hole before I drop something in there and hate myself for it. So, I do got to remember to do that. Now I'll do it right now. Doesn't take much. You put a whole sock or something in there. Anything that'll fit in there but won't fall through that pipe works. In my case, this ought to be good. Go ahead and put some more of these. I don't know if you see these washers. See them? They got these little spikes on the back. So they stick in, and then when you turn them, they grab. They totally grab, bro. Now, I don't know what tile I'm going to be putting on the wall. I do know it's going to be heavy because tile is heavy. So whatever it is, you got to make sure you got enough screws holding this board, because that's really what's holding the heavy tile on the wall, is whatever you're mounting all this stuff to. The tile is getting fastened to this board. What this board is fastened to and how is important. You don't have enough screws, having a bunch of mortar ain't going to help. It's an important thing to think about. Is this process. That's what it sounds like when you don't hit nothing. Make sure you pull it out. That screw in there loose, it's going to be a problem later. It won't be a problem for me. What do y'all know about those old 70s grooves, huh? Huh? What you know about cool cats and jive turkeys, huh, sucker? What it is, Jack? Hey. All right. That's a moderate amount of screws and washery. Gotta put a few more up top. Might put a few more down low. Don't know. Don't know. I do know I gotta have enough to get my other two walls up. Well, at least that wall. This one's gonna get partially. Come over here, dude. This one's gonna get partially glued. This wall, where it's touching the concrete, it's gonna get adhesive. And then what's obviously on the wall is gonna get screws. And that's just how that's gonna go. Like that. Make sure you come back and check these things. Tripping a little bit. Missing a little bit. So what we'll do, measure from yeah to yeah, the edge of our pan. Do the same thing over here. Make sure we are tight in our corner. Give us nice straight lines when we lay our tile. That is going to be essential. Essential means important and necessary. Thank you for the 20 likes, y'all. Land Raven. That's what I missed. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Land Raven. Yes. Ha, big letters for the old dude. Yes. Everybody type in caps from now on. People come in and like, why is West Chat so angry at him? Why are they speaking in bold fonts? That's hilarious. Yo. Good on you. All right, where's the tape? Now, we already know we're gonna go 36, but we don't know what that board is with it. We'll call it 35 and a half-ish, most likely. Yeah, exactly. So let's go 35 and a half. See where that puts us on our stud. See if that keeps us, oh, that keeps us off that stud entirely. Okay. We'll just pop in another stud. I've got access to the base here. I can nail down here on the outside of that joint, and then I can screw up top. That won't be a big deal. All right, so we're still gonna do 35 and a half. And let's see what we got. We might work in some scraps. We might. I wonder if that worked out perfectly. Holy cannolis. Holy cannolis. That's perfect, my friend. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Scoot that out of the way. And what we'll do is cut this pipe out. I'm not gonna take the pipe itself out. We're gonna cut around it. Leave the impression. Then we'll mortar over that, waterproof over that. We'll go here. We'll go here. That worked perfectly for me. But listen, this brings me to a thought that I do want to share with you. Any of the DIY people. DIY something on this level, you're going to be doing it because you want to have the experience. You're not going to do it because you absolutely need to have it done and you can't afford to pay a professional. Because the problem with DIY is this. Can you afford it if it all goes to, as my buddy Rob would say, tits up, right? You don't want to have to call a professional in an emergency situation. You busted your water lines, the whole thing is leaking, you don't know what happened, but you spent all that you did have because you only budgeted for the DIY. So when it comes to your home, it's a big investment. There's a lot behind these walls. Make sure that you've got the money to hire a professional if it goes nuts. All right? Because that is going to be stressful if something goes wrong. Okay? I only tell you that because I love you and I want you happy. Okay? It's not that I don't think you're capable. I want you safe. I want your house safe. Despite me, despite anybody else. Right? Because the only person that's going to ever help you fix it is you. Right? Nobody on YouTube is going to be like, oh, well, yeah, I told you to do it that way. It didn't work. So I'll be over tomorrow, tighten it up. That ain't going to happen. So, you know, not buyer beware, but doer beware, right? So now I'm going to put in a piece right here. I'm going to go ahead and measure that. I think that's 4 feet, more or less, but it's good to be clear, certain. If I only had an idea where my tape measure was. Okay, it's right here. We already got that. Let's get our height. 47. Let's go with it. So that's going to be a 47 by 36. 35 and a half. You thought I was slipping, didn't you? Well, I am. All right, let's see. 30 what? 35.5. There. Because they've conveniently left lines in there for me, I am going to trust them. This time we do it with this knife I don't care about at all. Because you can also just score. Straight line. Score. Semi-straight line. If you get off that line, you're going to have to go a little deeper so it doesn't follow the other lines and ruin your piece. So there's that. What we got to do is snap. Snap right there at that score. Take your knife. Done data. I know that room looks terrible. There's nothing in it. It's all storage right now. It's going to be good. It's going to get better. How do you think of doing all this? All right. Height-wise. Let's do a couple things. One, let's cut these, not this one. So now we've got These super convenient little scribe marks. We can just continue to follow them. Get in there. The shallower, the thinner the cut, the harder it is to snap. So you gotta go a little deeper. Penetration. You know how it is. Alright, I'm gonna put that one right there. Or wherever that decides to be. Snap that. Right over there. Back in the day, we'd be dragging around cement board called Wonder Board. Hardy board is also another dense and heavy product that does the same job, but is dense and heavy. This stuff is a pleasure. All right, second thing, we want to get our up there, dude. We got our spigot right here coming out of the wall. We got to make our hole for that so we can find it. So you can do that a couple of ways, but since we've got some relatively straight lines here, let's do it the old school way. Throw our board up in the air. Sit it right next to that thing. Get back up there, you jerk. I'll kill you. All right. So you see right there, that's where we make that mark. Now, I'm a goofball, so I left my marker over there. Voila. All right. I'm going to do you right. I'm not going to teach you to do it the goofball way. All right. We're at 13 to the dead center of that spout. And that means how high are we from the bottom? This, you can measure that from the top to up for the bottom. 33. Those are easy numbers to remember. I'm going to translate that down here. 13. And then we measure up 33 from the bottom. That's right here. That should be the center of our spout. And that is where I shall work. Go up top, see if it worked. Why am I perfect? I don't know. I don't know why. It's just me, you know? I don't know. Sometimes it feels like a curse. No, I'm just kidding. It always feels like a gift. It's awesome to be better than everybody else. Just kidding. Or am I? Stuff's so easy to deal with. Boom. Now, the flush, cool. These are going to get glued. This one's gonna get screwed, and we'll be good to go. Now, there's a bunch of different stuff you can use for that. I'm going to use thin set or all set. I'm not sure which. But that's what's going to glue that up. And then I'll put some screws in that to hold it up. I'm going to do the screws in that now so I don't have to mine for it and think about it. But I'm not going to mix mortar just a second. So I'm going to just scooch a little bit of that over. I am going to confirm my edge with my level. Make sure I'm good. Try to hold that up in that corner. My screw in it. And once again, the most significant convenience of these boards is simply gravity. They handle gravity really well. All right, where's my other boards at? Over here and on the end. Pop him right about here. Gravity, working against me. Gravity wants to eat my cows. All right. One more up here ought to be sufficient. Not sufficient for the tiling, but sufficient for holding that board up there. It'll do that job just fine. All right, so now we've got that board up. These still have to get some adhesive behind them. No big deal. Over here, we got to go ahead and get it together for that piece. This in here is going to be same thing, 35.5. And it should be able to do that all the way up. I really need to pull this out of this wall. Hold on a smack it. Never disconnected the old electric. So I just got it kind of hanging out of the way-ish. But it's beginning to be less out of the way than ever. So let's just keep. Here we go. It'll just be hanging there in the way. Just in case I need to get electrocuted later. All right, here we go. We've got a pretty good grasp on what we need here. Just one more board. That board needs to be just shy of the 4 feet, of course, obviously, yada, yada. It's going to leave us with almost a whole additional board, but not quite one, so it's not worth saving because we can't take it back if we can't get the whole thing. So we'll go ahead and slap this board on here, cut it to fit, move on with our process. So what's our height? Again, is just what, 1 inch under 8 feet. So go ahead and pull that measurement. Hey, I'm over here again. Let me get some mark right about yay. Let's say we knock about 1 inch off. All right. In the event we do a rough cut like that, the rough cut's going to go to the top. Now, it does make sense for it to be at the bottom because you're like, oh, where's towel can cover that? But no, I want it to sit flat. I want it to sit nice and even. Oh man, we still gotta go around this wire. Is still gonna be in my way. I'll just stand that straight up. I can barely fit going in this room like that. That's a really tight areas when it comes to construction. They really are. All right, so now we just got to find where our studs are, put some screws in. And I know you're thinking, Wes, you're the stud. You'll be right. You're absolutely right. You're not gonna fall. Not on me, you punk. Not on me. Alright. Hop up. Put a couple screws in it. Fantastic. These are pretty obvious where they are. So, still put some now. Now, as far as this other spout that's somewhere, go to the back side. Pretty easy to deal with there. this one I hadn't fastened in yet because I wanted to locate it. But that looks good. There you go. I'm just putting my bathroom together. What's up? Hey. Listen, if you hadn't called me today, I was going to come beat you up tomorrow morning. So, good thing. I'm good, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Right on. I appreciate you, man. I'll do it. All right. Bye-bye. That's my buddy. Coming to check on me. So, now what we have is, never mind the electrical hazards. All right, we got our wall up all the way around. Now, what we want to do with these is get them all fastened in. We want the stuff out of the way that's keeping this wall from going flat. We get it nice and flat and put the skim coat on. It'll be good. Over that stuff, we're just gonna have to deal with it with a tile. That's fine. We're gonna use thick tile, thick mortar. We're gonna make sure we cover all of that stuff as we go. And right now, we're pretty good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get set up to mix the mud and start the next layer of waterproofing. But I'm gonna go pick up some more screws from up the street first because I don't have enough of these, but I do want to have plenty in there. And I'll be back. I'll turn my camera on again. And if you want to come check it out, then feel free. If you don't, you know, what are you doing? All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me. Let me give a shout out to my man, Rob, Joe in the building. Who else is in here? Cherry in the, man, so many cool people came through. I appreciate all of you. And I'm sorry if I missed any of you. It's only because I'm freaking blind. Okay, stop saying I'm blind. I'm very nearsighted. And my corrective lenses that I have in fix that. Help me see further. So it compromises my close vision because it's so far out. Anyway, I got glasses coming today. So next time you see me, I might look like Harry Potter or Steve Urkel. Either way, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back. I'll see you then. Peace. West does it.